Just as a quick content warning, Drakengard 3's plot, which is what we're covering, features many dark themes, as some might find distressing, so viewer discretion is advised. I'd advise that you do your research on the game, and for those that are still here, please enjoy the video.
Okay, so, Chris, you go first. What do you know about Drakengard 3 before we start?
Well, the last time we ran through this, I was absolutely plastered from a night drinking, and then we decided to come home at about 3 in the morning and start recording a 2-hour-long video while you lore dumped on me. And almost none of it went in.
That's fair.
So I think this is the second go around.
Dylan, what do you know about Drakengard 3?
I know the end has another game. Like
Yeah.
the end of 1.
Yeah,
That's about it.
that's fair. So the game starts off with like a scroll, and it has this old man. It's like Legends Tell. It starts off with like one of those, and it basically says the world was really shit, was right not good, and then 5 women descended and made world peace essentially.
Yeah.
And they're called intoners, and they like bring peace with the power of song or some shit. And yeah, they established dominion over like all the realms that are around, and everyone lived happily ever after. And there's the little legends going on. There's like blood splatters, and the narrator gets stabbed in the chest by our main character, and he's like, "You fucking bitch," and she's like, "I'm an intoner, don't be mean."
She's more of a cutie or a hottie, this?
She's more of a hottie, IMO.
Excellent, I'm already on board.
Zero, and she has a dragoon with her called Michael, and they kill a whole bunch of people, and you don't really know anything about her except she wants to kill the intoners. So they're her sisters, and they're 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's her goal. She wants to kill her sisters. It's not really established why, just that she wants to.
I mean, people that have got brothers and sisters might understand a little more.
Yeah, maybe. I don't have any.
Definitely.
I get it.
Dylan, yeah, no, Dylan's telling me about how he wants to kill everyone in his entire family with a rake.
So for some reason, she was like, "I'm just gonna take them all on at once. I'm just gonna fight them all at once."
In a fight, right? Okay, that's good.
That doesn't go very
That's
well.
the question.
So not only does our arm get ripped off, Michael the dragon dies.
Damn.
And that's the like prologue of Drakengard 3. It cuts to a year later, and she's in this like shitty little shack, and she walks out, and the dragon from before is still there. So
yay!
Drakengard lore: when dragons die, they get a wish. Or when they're close to death, they get a wish, and most of the time they wish to be reincarnated, which is why they live so long. So Michael's now called Mikhail, and he's essentially a baby version of himself.
Okay.
So he's rolling around in the mud, having a giggle, having a good old time. So
Having
Zero's getting annoyed by it, and she's like, "Mikhail, we gotta go, Mikhail." And she's like, "Mikhail, fucking knock it off!" She like shouts really like harshly at him, and she shouts at him so hard he pisses himself in fear. I'm not kidding. There's like a dedicated like 30-second cutscene of Mikhail pissing himself and Zero looking really like disappointed in him.
Where can I watch a playthrough of this?
Whoa!
If you want me to post it.
This might be something that I need to like start structuring my life around. If this is exactly how you've described it.
Yourself.
Well,
yeah.
No.
Hold on.
No.
Yo, where my
Oh,
dragon
yeah, babe, it's those
where my
jeans.
dragon diaper viewers out there. And I know in Drakengard that people can like bond themselves to dragons through like rituals or something like that. That's what happened. That's the point of the first game.
Yeah, that is the first game. They haven't really done that here. They've just made a verbal agreement pretty much, but that was with Michael. So Mikhail's basically like a separate person. I can't find a...
So they're like roommates, not like married.
Pretty much,
And
yeah.
they were roommates?
Okay, cool. They were roommates.
Well,
And the dragon pissed and shit himself, really?
It's like a very constant theme of the game. Mikhail being very innocent and childlike, and Zero just verbally berating him for like
That's
no
fucked up.
reason.
Ugh.
Like, it's like, oh, why don't like these guys seem like pretty aggressive? Why don't we try and like talk to them and get along? Just like, that's a stupid idea, and you need to shut your mouth.
The baby dragon shitting and pissing is a central titular character. He's one of the funnier characters of the game, I'd say.
He is one of the funnier characters. He is genuinely an essential character. He does get a lot better, but it's kind of to establish that he's now a baby, because Michael was very like, in the little prologue, he was very like noble and like well spoken.
And it was his birthday today.
And it was his birthday, and he died on his birthday, and it was very sad.
That's fucked
Cake and
up.
ice cream was on its
Yeah,
way.
he didn't even get his ice cream birthday cake.
Yeah.
But Zero's
fucked
just
up.
like, you're not Mike. She doesn't even call him by name. She's like, you haven't earned that right
Jeez.
to be called by name. So
What a fucking...
So Zero does use slurs, like canonically.
yeah,
she's
she
eating
probably
shrimp
does.
of limbs.
She's a big slur user.
She is probably actually there's a character that we're gonna get to. It's like
I'm already rubbing my hands in delight
but she was like,
upon hearing
okay,
your phrase like that.
fighting all of my sisters at once was probably not a good idea. I'm gonna go and
No
kill them
way.
one by one. So their first goal is to get to 5. And he's like, well, what kind of sister is 5? And she's like, the slutty kind.
Huh?
Ooh,
And-
let's
And he's
go.
like, I don't know what slutty means. And she's like, it means that all she thinks about is doing dirty stuff. And he's like, oh, but she's like you then. Why do you have to fight her?
The absolute
Fucking
shade
dog.
being shown.
And he says it so like
Absolute
innocently.
shade.
And she's like, if you speak anymore, I'm gonna kill you. Aw.
Yeah, but she thinks about dirty stuff like rolling around in the mud and you know, and like eating worms and
Yeah, so
Yeah.
This is 5. And
oh my god.
Oh, I'm listening.
I knew that would get your attention. And her whole thing is she just likes to have things. She likes money, she likes expensive things, she likes sex. Like that's
But not pants
I'm
apparently.
listening.
Yeah, not pants, no.
Not a big fan of pants. I'm
I'm not
seeing.
a big fan of the
But she's
government.
quite like I'd guess absent-minded would be the word. She's very much just off in her own little world all the time.
Mhm.
But she is just permanently horny. That is kind of her thing. Like,
Understandable,
Okay.
honestly.
like
It kind of
Zero-
looks like in a character image she's like carrying like a Christian cross across her back, like
it's a
she's
lance.
bearing like the right. Is there like some sort of like religious symbology there for like
There is
like
in the
Jesus
game,
Christ
but
or something
I
like
don't
that?
think with 5 specifically there's anything. Maybe it's meant to be
Okay.
like a Christian cross, which is like very openly sexual. Like
I think
kind of
it's,
contradiction of that.
I imagine it should have been pretty it should have been pretty intentional just from the way that the image is presented. It's very reminiscent of Jesus Christ carrying the crucifix on his back
There's probably a
Alright,
little bit
for
of
his
that.
sins.
So every intoner, so that's what Zero and her sisters are. They're intoners. They have a disciple, which is basically like a personal like servant that like just helps them out with anything that they need. And hers is a guy called Dito. He's 22, but I think the whole thing is his whole thing is he's very like kind of effeminate looking and kind of young. But he's just completely sadistic. Like he loves just things going wrong for people and like rotten things and watching things die. So because 5's very like, oh, I like having my hair done and like my makeup, my perfume, whatever. He hates her because she's so obsessed with being pretty. he cannot
That
stand
sucks to be
her.
him.
But because he's a disciple, he has to do everything that she tells him to. So they have a fight, 0 and 5. They have this boss fight because they can all summon like. It's different for every Intona, but they all have like an angel they can summon, which is like an excuse for like a dragon versus big mech battle, basically. So I can't remember what hers looks like. I think it's like a robotic spider, if I remember right. And you have to fight that. And she's like, "Oh,
The Wild
Zero,
Wild West.
I'm so excited that you came to see me first. I've nearly came as well." And she's like,
Oh,
"Can you stop
I
talking
don't like the way she
disgusting,
said that.
please?" And she's like, "Oh, but I love the way that you tease me, Zero." And she's like, "I'm not teasing you, 5. I'm attempting to kill you." So
There's a lot to unpack there.
so Zero beats her, and she's like, "Oh, okay, I've killed 5. Let's move on to the next person." And then she just rises up, like cut in half, and she just rises up from the dead anyway. And then she stops because Dio kills her, and it looks like he's gonna kill Zero, and then he starts just laughing. He just starts going crazy, and he's like, "Oh, I'm so glad that bitch is out the way. Like, you have no idea how happy I am to see like the back of her. Like, I fucking hate her. I'll travel with
Jesus.
you."
I was gonna say Dido and Zero kind of sound like kindred spirits that sound like they kind of deserve each other.
She's kind of annoyed by him, like how much he goes on about like, "Oh, I love seeing like the soldiers like faces when they realize how fucked they are fighting you, Zero, because you're an Intona, just a normal person." She's like, "I'm just trying to get from A to B." Like, Zero's a very like focused kind of character. Like, she has like a goal, and she's like, "This is what I'm getting to. I'm annoyed if anything gets in the way of it."
Mm.
So there's like to the point where like she just has no common sense sometimes. So like she's killed 5, so they're going to move on to 4. So they go to the mountain area. It's like a snowy kind of mountain land. Mikhail gets lost somewhere, so she's shouting for him. And Dito's like, "You probably shouldn't shout when we're in like a snowy landscape." And she's like, "Why? It's the quickest way to get Mikhail, and then we can move on." So she keeps shouting for him, and it causes an avalanche. And like the pair get buried in the snow, and it just fades to black, and it's like game over. Zero and Dio died from hypothermia.
I
And then
assume that's like a
and then she
joke
just
ending,
rises
though.
out the snow, and she's like, "No, I say when
Oh.
this is over."
Let's go with strong female leads.
And then Dito's like, "I did try to warn." She's like, "I wasn't yelling that loudly. It's the stupid snow's fault." And he's like, "You can't blame the snow."
I'm not gonna lie, this Zero sounds kind of insufferable.
Nah, it's just I
Everyone-
like Zero. I think it's just fun.
It's everyone's fault but mine.
I do get that vibe a little bit from Zero, where she kind of she is so far the root of her own misery, but she can't help but just offload it onto everyone else.
It's kind of like that,
Real
but
recognizes real.
as the game goes on, Zero
Yeah.
gets more kind of layers to her, where she's not like that at all by like later on in the game. But I'll
Like an
explain
ogre.
it as we go. So they find 4.
Love the Shrek reference.
She's in an airship, and 4's the very like. She's very peaceful. She's very like pragmatic. She doesn't want anyone to like get hurt by anything. Like, even when Zero's trying to kill her, she's like, "Can we please not like talk and work things out? Like, we're sisters. Like, we shouldn't fight." And Zero's like, "Well, I didn't come here for a fucking picnic, did I? I'm gonna kill you." This is what 4 looks like.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
sweet
she looks
design.
cool.
Yeah, she's got a cool design.
She's got cool ass gloves.
That is a very cool design.
Yeah. But she's pleading with Zero the whole time not to like that this has like gone on far enough, and
Nope.
like whatever's happened they can work things
Nope.
out. And Zero's just like, "No, I've came here to kill you. That's what I'm gonna do." So
Not
her
to her.
and Tona is called Decadus,
I
and
wish I looked like
she
that.
goes to kill 4 and she can't, and she starts like freaking out. She starts like tweaking, and like
Why can't you kill her? Like, just
because
skill issue?
no, she's like, "No, that this can't happen now." So the implication is she's got like a split personality, because she starts being like, "What's going on? I don't know where I am
Mm.
now." And Four's like, oh, Zero, I knew that like something was wrong. You're back. I can't believe it. I'm so happy. So she goes to her and hugs her. And Zero's like, well, where's the rest of our sisters? Like, what's going on? And Four's like, oh, 3's here, 2's here, 1's here. And she's like, thanks for telling me, and just stabs her. And she's like, well, I thought you were back, Zero, what's going on? She's like, did you genuinely think that I had a split personality, you stupid bitch? And she just starts cutting her up. She's like, I can't, but like, she's like, you deserve it at this point if you fell for that. Like, come on. So she kills 4.
Yeah, I have no words.
Yeah, like she literally calls her a stupid son of a bitch for being so naive.
But look at the cute boots.
Yeah. Like,
That's
lol.
messed up.
Yeah. So Decadus is like, oh, with my lady gone, I've got nothing to live for. And Zero walks up to him, and I'm gonna quote her verbatim for a second. She says, I kill my sisters, I take their men, clean up front and rear, we meet tonight.
Well, that's about as direct as it gets, isn't it?
Yeah. And Decadus, the thing with him is, he's really into pain. He's like really into it.
Okay.
Like any
dear.
mention of like the implication of pain, and he's in the corner going like, oh.
So these men that have been paired up with these women, like 1 through 5, are they all like direct opposite personality-wise?
Not all of them, but most of them.
Hmm. I wonder if they did that for some reason, or if they just thought it would be a funny. It'd be a. They just make a funny pair.
Yeah, I think it's probably more of that. So Zero just kind of. She's not like super harsh to Decadus, she just kind of doesn't really consider him when she's talking. She's very matter of fact. She's like, oh, if this thing happens, this will hurt. And he's like, oh yeah, that'll really hurt. And she's like, okay, moving on. She's like, I don't care. So she gets
certified CBT enjoyer.
It's taken 4's airship, and the game is like, oh, 4 has a lot of treasure here. If we can find like this key, we'll be a lot better for it. So Zero's like, oh yeah, okay, we've got airship, we've got a new companion in Decadus, like things are looking up for me, that's really nice. The airship gets shot down immediately. After
Can't have shit in the lands
like
between
even in
and I've shit in Detroit.
I looked it up because I was like, when I was playing, because I was like, I haven't got a key, like where do you get the key? And it was like, oh, there is no key, like the game is just fucking with you.
The game's just
like,
a fucking bait. Oh wow.
So all the soldiers are like, oh, that we got reports that Zero had stolen that airship, she's been shot down, we've like saved the world, and she just jumps out the wreckage and drop kicks them.
Oh, let's go.
It's just like, I'm so fucking pissed. I had a nice airship. I was gonna go here. I've been sidetracked. I'm not happy.
I am now Sans airship.
Exactly. So she's not pleased about that.
Sans
So they get
airship.
through the forest, and I don't know.
I don't think she's been pleased about anything.
I don't know if you'll remember this, Chris, but I remember talking about you in my Drakengard 1 video. Do you remember when I told you that fairies in Drakengard are the fucking worst?
I remember you telling me that most things in Drakengard are the absolute worst.
Yeah, well,
but especially
especially
fairies, yes. They're little shits that just like to mess with you.
They do. So like, they've landed in a forest, but it's not just any old forest. It's the fairy forest. It's where they live.
God damn.
And they're like, oh, why is an ugly whore like you in our place? Like, get out. They just berate you throughout the whole level, being like, you're ugly, you smell, we hate you, get out. Get out of my country, basically.
Get out of my country.
So they find like the fairy king, and he's like, oh, I heard he talks like this.
Oh, okay.
I've heard about you, Zero. You're just.
He sounds like the guy from Food Fight, then, basically.
He does.
The green guy from Food Fight.
And he's like, you're just as ugly as I'd heard about. And she's like, you need to tell me where 3 is. And he's like, well, 3's in the forest, but I'm not telling you where she is because you'll kill me. And she's like, I promise I won't kill you. And I was like, oh, I find that hard to believe. And she's like, no, I promise I won't. And he's like, oh, I find that very hard to believe. An ugly bitch like you can't keep a promise. And he starts like laughing at her, and she just like slowly reaches her arm out and just crushes him. Cause they're like those little like Navi and Zelda, they're like little balls of light. That's how fairies look.
Yeah.
So she
Oh
just reaches her
Christ,
arm
I
and
hate
just-
those things too.
So she
Uh-oh.
just reaches her arm and just crushes him in her hand.
This fucking guy
You know-
sounds like the
And
kind of
Mikhail's like,
people who fucking...
that's not how
Uh-oh.
it's supposed to go. First, it was supposed to do something for him, then go somewhere else, then do something else for him, and then go somewhere else, and then get the.
Wait, is it like a legit call out to to the Legend of Zelda?
Yeah, a little bit. And he's like, that's how it's supposed to
Swing
go.
right.
And Zero's like, no,
That's
we'll
how
just...
it's supposed to go.
And Zero's like, well, if we wander around far enough, we'll find it eventually. So like, it's no point. Come on. So they get a bit further in, and they get stopped by this guy. And I will post the cutscene of him because it's like genuinely my favorite cutscene in the game.
Okay.
They get stopped by this dude called Octa.
Ooh, those are some big
They're
circles.
just like fucking quiet.
Yeah.
You what?
I surrender.
Well, this is
Sure.
awkward.
I came here because I want to join your cause.
I did not see that coming.
This
Holy
is
shit.
cinema.
That is so good.
It's just the fucking...
It's just a dead silence.
Mhm,
I like how it just keeps going on as well.
mhm.
It's just the fucking twink guy sneezing.
The fucking dragon sounds...
Well spoken, my winged friend.
The dragon sounds like fucking, the Triceratops from fucking Barney the Dinosaur.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, he is a baby. Come on.
Little Baba.
Fucking bitch, that's loser.
I actually quite like that.
Mhm.
No one does silence quite like this game.
Mhm.
My favorite part is that it's probably in like 2 FPS.
No, the cutscene
Whoa.
is fine. It's just in the actual gameplay. It's like 2
No, that was based. That
so
was
Octa's thing,
fantastic.
he's just a sex god.
Oh,
That's-
so he's like, so he's really good at it.
yeah, he does it a lot, and he's really good at it.
Mhm.
But he's old, ew.
Yeah, he's old, but so he's a disciple to 3. So
I like
Octa
that one.
left her because she started human experimentations, but more importantly, because he was getting no poon anymore.
Mhm.
Understandable.
Damn.
So he was like, well, I'm gonna switch
Anything
sides
from
now.
Coochie.
Damn, he is an old man with needs, apparently.
Yeah. So
Anything
Yeah.
from
he takes
Coochie.
her to 3, and 3 and Mikhail do manage to beat her and her soldiers. And the little things she summons, like her experiments, look like the babies from Drakengard 1. You know, do you remember the Watchers, Chris?
Oh, how could I
The little
forget?
stone babies. They look like them, except like they've got like a purple glow. And
Mhm.
Zero like beheads one of them and just chucks the head off of 3. And like the heads of them are like twice the size of all of them. And 3 is like, ah ha ha, did you believe something like that could kill an intoner as powerful as me? Mikhail just eats her.
No, 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 no.
Like
I'm
literally
killing.
halfway through she's talking, she's like, do you think something like that would kill an intoner? And she just gets eaten.
Mhm.
It's that fucking scene from Monster House. He just grabs it and he...
So when
walks
and
away.
Mikhail does that, and he starts like tweaking out because he started saying that like, oh, I feel really weird around like all the intoners except you, Zero. Like, I don't like violence, but like I've started feeling violent when I see them, and that'll be something that I'll like get thingied into later. So as soon as he eats 3, he gets kidnapped by 2's disciple called Scent. And Scent's thing is, he's got 2 little like quirks to him. He thinks he's way smarter than he actually is.
Mhm.
But he does get the jump on him. He's like, I realized like oh, if you don't have your dragon, you can't, like, you're gonna be greatly limited in terms of what you can do, so I'm gonna kidnap him. That's a really good plan. Go me. This is Scent. He's very much kind of the pretty boy, but in a different sense from, like, Dido.
I see. I can vibe.
He's definitely Ryan's type. I can tell.
Yeah. You got me.
Yeah.
You got me.
And like Zero, and to her
You
credit, this is like
whore.
the first time she seems genuinely concerned about Mikhail. Like she's genuinely distressed that Mikhail gets kidnapped, and like that he's in danger. And it's like the first time she's ever expressed any concern for him, because sometimes he does like fly off and like just gets lost in missions. And like when Dido or Decadus is like, "Oh, do you think Mikhail's okay?" and he's like, "Oh, he's an idiot. He's fine. He'll be back." He's probably just got off to piss somewhere. Like, I don't.
Man,
really care.
did any of these people in this group ever grow to like each other?
No, that's
Why
kind of the
do-
point, because they're all reprehensible people.
Yeah, that's fair. So why are they sticking together? Why do the disciples decide to stick around Zero?
Because they need to serve
one-
Anantona. It doesn't really matter
Right.
to them which one. They just need
Okay.
to serve Anantona and Zero's.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
So
Okay.
Scent serves 2, and 2 was like the only just actually
Tua.
really good character in Drakengard, like as in like very nice character. Like she's just a nice person, no ulterior motives. She's just someone who wants the best for other people. But at the minute she's essentially comatose. Like Scent has to do everything for her. And that'll get explained later, is Mikhail kills 2 after Zero gets him back. And Scent explains, she's like, because he seemed really dedicated to her up until she died. And then he's like, oh, I'm now in your service, Lady Zero. And she's like, you're not going to go to the grave with 2. Like, I thought that you loved her in all ways. And he's like, oh, I have to serve an Antona, I don't mind which one. So Scent's whole thing, other than being an idiot, is he just really likes to gaslight people. Like he has these little trivia time segments and levels. Like there's a bit where they're going through a city, and he's like, "Did you know that human breath contains 6% of harmful chemicals?" And Decadus is like, "I've never heard of that," and he's like, "Me neither." So he just chats shit.
He's just a little girl boss.
He's a little goofy
He's just
girl
a-
boss.
He's a real
Just turns into
real
the
girl boss.
So they get to the city where there's this place called the Cathedral City, and that's where like it's where the prologue of the game took place, and it's where Wand lives. And she's like the strongest of the sisters. She's very like stern, very like kind of a very plays by the rules kind of character, but she's also like very clearly the most intelligent.
So she's the top dog in Tona.
Yeah, I mean Zero's the strongest probably, but she's like out of the sisters, she's the one is the top dog.
Right.
You tell him one, but there's
So
nothing
she
wrong.
lives in
We
this
want
big ass
nothing.
cathedral.
Mhm.
And Zero and Mikhail like do eventually make it to her. The disciples all want
don't.
to go with her. And Zero's like, yous aren't gonna last that much longer. Because your main intoners are gone, you're only gonna be alive for a certain amount of time. So I'm gonna give you like the forms that you truly have. And she like waves a hand. I'll give you all a guess of what their true forms are.
Is it dragons?
They're all one specific thing.
They're all dragons, I would guess, like Mikola.
Dylan, what's your guess?
One thing that they all are.
Bunch of queers.
I feel like dragons is too obvious.
Well, I never.
Sure, bitch.
I genuinely
Yeah,
don't
that's
think you'll get it right, but give it a guess.
I'm gonna guess fairies.
Fairies, okay. Dylan, what's your guess?
Monkey.
They're all doves.
Oh fuck. Okay, yeah. Right.
Okay.
So, like, I
So
give
they
you-
were always doves that were like transformed into.
Yeah, there were doves that were transformed into people.
Okay.
It's a dove, not just a pigeon.
Yeah, but they're just white birds.
Shut up, man.
Fair.
They're just pigeons with extra steps.
Pigeons with extra
They're
steps.
whitewashed
That's...
pigeons.
Hell yeah.
Chicken's just a white hen, isn't it?
So she turns them all back into doves, and they all fly away. And Zero and Mikhail fight one and her dragon, which is called Gabriel. That's the dragon that killed Michael and also bit Zero's arm off first time. Oh, fun fact about Zero's arm, I forgot to say. She has a prosthetic and it's controlled by a parasite.
Okay,
Alright.
excellent. It's like Delicious in Dungeon.
I don't know, I've never seen it.
It's exactly the same.
Dungeon Meshy?
And
Oh my
one starts
fucking-
talking about, like,
I will ruin you. I will ruin you.
so one starts talking about the intoners and like what they're made for, and the flower in Zero's eye. So I haven't mentioned it up until now, but the flower isn't just a design thing for Zero. There's like an actual practical use to it. So whenever she gets close to dying or has like a mortal wound, the flower basically overtakes her body, and a new body for Zero comes out of the flower. So that's kind of like the gameplay explanation as to why she specifically can like respawn, because like another.
Do characters in the game ever acknowledge the fact that she's like come back from the dead after already having killed her?
It's a plot point I'll talk a bit more about later, but the flower is.
Cool.
I just wanted to establish that the flower's not just a design choice.
Cool.
Do you know when you said respawn? I just thought of the. We are gamers. We don't die. We just respawn.
Zero is a gamer.
Dylan, I've seen you wearing that T-shirt every single day of your life since you left school, and you really need to take it off and change it one of these
I think he
days.
needs to wear it more.
It's fused to his skin because he refused to take it off. His wife said you need to start developing a different personality, and he started screeching. It was really
It's
cringe.
beautiful.
Hmm.
But Zero,
Agree, disagree.
Mikhail and Gabriel fight, and the pair essentially end up killing each other. And instead of reincarnating, Zero's like, use your wish to reincarnate, because Zero can't beat one and Gabriel together. He uses his last wish to give Zero a power boost, so she can kill them both. And Zero starts like freaking out. She's like, that's not fair, like you deserve to like have a life of your own after this is all over. Like, don't use this like for my sake. But he does anyway, and he dies. And she starts going fucking crazy. And one's like, you've killed that many people, and you think that you can't have a sacrifice on your end. Like, that's conceited of you. So she does kill one, and she turns back to Mikhail's now very dead body, and she's like, oh, we did it. And then she gets stabbed in the back by someone who looks exactly like one, like literally a carbon copy of one. And she's like, but I killed one. And he's like, I'm a brother. This is never mentioned up until now, by the way. One just has an identical twin brother.
Okay.
And he stabs Zero in the back, and his white suit because he wears exactly the same clothes as one. It gets dyed like red from her blood, which is meant to be a callback to Mana from Drakengard 1. They've got.
Are they canonically supposed to be the same character?
They're not the same. But the credits thingy, Zero's dies next to Mikhail, and Brother One is like, oh. I don't know what to do now, my sister One's dead, but like I'll go on to forge something in her memory. So it turns out Drakengard 3 is a prequel, and Brother One goes on to make the Cult of the Watchers.
Okay.
But as Brother One kind of wanders off, a lady that we've never seen before is like, I had a suspicion that things would turn out like this, but maybe if we took a different like choice along the way. So you know how I told you in Drakengard 1 it has like different endings?
Yeah, they do that.
In Drakengard 3 it's different dedicated timelines.
Okay.
So this is
How many of these games are there?
There's
three
Drakengard games.
There's three, and then the Niers.
And
Yeah.
2 Nier games, which are...
And who's the best?
Stop it.
And
Drakengard
also
2 is the best one.
And also a near phone game, which is canon.
Yeah, it's
And
canon and
also
actually has
the-
some really cool like lore stuff.
The near
Also, the fucking stage plays and shit, they're all
stage
canon.
play, that's
There's
As is
goddamn
the
stage
anime.
plays.
Stage plays,
Yeah,
there's
actually,
musicals,
yeah,
there's all
it's-
sorts. There's
Like
two-
Hairspray.
There's a stage
Drakengard,
play in
Hairspray.
Nier Automata that takes place after like the main ending of Nier Automata. I'm not
Isn't
kidding.
the anime
and it's
canon as
canon.
well?
Huh?
Alright.
Is the anime canon
The
as well?
anime is canon as well, yeah. But the anime is its own timeline because it's 1.1.
So good luck knowing everything else
It's
going on
fucking
in there.
dumb, but anyway.
This is fucking stupid.
That's timeline A, that leads into Drakengard 1. Timeline B is really similar up to the point where they get lost in the forest. All the fairies are already dead, I think. So that's a plus. Like, Zero didn't
Hooray!
do anything, all the fairies are already dead. But all the not all the Intoners. 5 and 4 are already dead in this timeline. But 3 and 1 fighting each other for some reason. It's never explained why. But 3's like, oh, I've lured 1 to try and kill her. But it didn't work. And she comes out and she's like, oh, Zero, something about this is really odd. The forest, like, something's off about it. Can you not feel, as an Intoner, surely you can feel it. And she just looks to 3, looks at the camera and just shrugs her shoulders and is like, I don't care. Like,
Oh.
probably is. Probably is, but
Can you believe this guy?
Get a load of this, dude.
I know, she's like, well, like, I still need to kill you all, so that hasn't
And
changed.
David Schwimmer in Toner.
So, like, there's nothing else I really need to care about. But 3 manages to escape. They find her later and she's already died. And they're like, oh, well, 1's got to be nearby because she's killed 3, so let's go find 1. And then they find 1 impaled on a spike, and 2 is just going crazy. She's having a fun little dance. And Sent the whole time has been like, oh, I don't know who 2 is. And Zero's like, well, that's your disciple, that's who you're thinking to. And he's like, no, I think I'd know if I had someone that was that attached to. And she's like, no, you do. You do. Like, Dio remembers 5, Decadus remembers 4, Octa remembers 3, so you've got to remember 2. He's like, no, I don't know 2. And he's just like, oh, alright then. And literally the second he sees 2, he's like, oh, I remember. I remember her. And she's not comatose this time, because in Timeline A, she was effectively brain dead, and he had to do all the work for her. And this one, she's just cuckoo crazy. So she's killed 1, she's dancing around a corpse, and she's like, oh, Sent, honey, kill them all, please. And he's like, well, if you say so. Like, I couldn't refuse anything that you'd say.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, so you fight her and Sent at the same time. And,
What do you?
and they get their asses kicked. But as they're dying, they summon this, like, poison creature that infects Mikhail, and Mikhail's gonna die. And
No,
Zero's
not
like-
again.
And Zero's like, oh, I know how I can solve this with a pact. So they make the first pact in the in Drakengard
Let's go.
history. So Zero's
Let's
basically
go.
the one that invented pacts.
Damn.
And
Back
Mikhail-
east or west?
all of them. Mikhail wakes up and he's fine, but he's got
Yo,
the
that's my
flower in
favorite
his eye
gaming one.
instead of Zero, and he's got like Zero's voice in his like consciousness. So they've essentially swapped roles, where he's the more mature one now, and she's regressed into a more like childlike state. Except he's like
Uh-oh.
she's like only in his head. And that's
In your head.
and that's Timeline B. Timeline B is really short. I don't know why they're fucking bothered with it, to be honest.
I think they just wanted a reason to make Zero into a childlike.
Well, you don't see her. She's just a voice. It's just like a clearly younger voice. So she's
Okay.
like a consciousness that lives in Mikhail now.
You.
And that's ending B. So it's just.
Okay.
I think that
Well, we
it's
sup-
the implication. It'll make more sense later, but I think the implication is meant to be like the flower has survived in Mikhail instead of in Zero.
I think you're really gonna have to go through great pains to explain this to me slowly at the end.
I will.
Because
Like,
I'm
the flower is
completely
important.
lost.
The flower is an important plot point, but I won't explain it now because it's got its own little dedicated bit.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember how Timeline C goes. Hold on a sec. Oh, okay, I remember. Never mind. So Timeline C is literally exactly the same, except 2 puts like a curse on Mikhail, which keeps making him like regress, because as the game goes on, the dragon like evolves, and it was the same in Drakengard 1 as Angela's fought more, she evolved. It's just like a level up system basically, but they get slightly different designs.
Okay.
But Timeline C, Mikhail keeps regressing, and she kills all of the disciples die, including 2 and Sent, because 2 essentially uses herself as a little suicide bomber.
Based.
And kills them all. But Mikhail's still cursed, and she's like, get this fucking curse off my dragon now, or I swear to God. And 1, she's like, okay, well 1's left, I must have to kill 1, and that'll remove the curse. And she's like, 1, get this curse off my dragon now, or I'm gonna kick off, or I'm gonna go Akka. And she's like, you don't deserve anything good to have like happen to you ever. It's your fault that like everything like this is happening. It's you cultivated the flower, you've created us. This is all your fault, and you deserve like the worst possible outcome. So I'll explain the flower now. So the flower is basically a parasite that feeds off of Zero, and at some point it will end the world. And Zero, when she realized this, should I talk about Zero's backstory now, or in like the dedicated bit? Because there's like a DLC.
Probably in the dedicated bit.
Okay.
Probably in the dedicated bit.
They say it in this timeline, but basically the flower's bad news. And the Intoners are connected to the flower, which is why Zero's trying to kill them.
Okay.
One moment.
So she manages to kill 1 and Gabriel, but Mikhail dies, and Zero starts like freaking out, like she starts throwing up on the floor, she starts crying. She's like, who's gonna kill me after like all of this is said and done? So the reason why she's had Mikhail with her the whole time is because the only thing that can fully destroy the flower is a dragon.
Yeah.
So her intentions are, she kills all her sisters, Mikhail kills her.
Okay.
And then the flower's properly stopped. So with Mikhail dead, like her body's like, and like with all the Intoners dead, the flower's going crazy, you know, which is why she's throwing up on the floor and her body's rejecting her. And I don't know if you remember from not a second ago, it was a little while ago, the lady I was talking about who was saying that like, oh, maybe we could have gone some like different choices along the way. That's a character called Accord. She's basically someone who manages all the timelines. I'll put a picture of her.
She's going to offer us an accord.
Yeah.
If it were
An accord.
a big accordion for you to play. Give me your games on your... Do you have games on your phone?
This is a
She does look like she would ask you if you had games on your phone.
Yeah. So she's basically she's like an entity that manages all timelines.
She's
Okay,
kind of
she got that big Louis Vuitton suitcase.
Yeah. So she's like, okay, there's no way to stop the flower in this timeline. I've made the like executive decision to seal it off to prevent any further damage anywhere else. So like, that's kind of how they explain it. Like, certain things get put in certain timelines because of like basically her decision.
Okay.
And like, if one is just too far gone, then she just seals it away entirely.
This is the worst timeline. Seal it up.
Yeah,
Put it in the Louis
reason
Vuitton
why
bag
all
right
the,
now.
like, weapons in Nier and Drakengard are the same is because she's managing them. She hands them out.
Okay. Right. Okay.
But she's taken like a personal liking to Zero. So like, you can go back into like the other timelines.
Well, someone has to.
They have these extra missions called Lost Verses, And the like
Okay.
in-game explanation is like little bits of the timeline that she's lost, like she's lost place of,
Mm.
and she's like, oh, I need help finding these little bits of the timeline. It's like Dora the Explorer, can you help? And they're basically all her
Toy
talking to
Dora.
Zero about like, hey, if this is too much for you, I can take over. And Zero's like, no, this is my responsibility. I'm the one that fixes it. If you get in the way of me, I will kill you. And Accord's like, oh, whoa, I'm really scared. Like, Zero, you're so scary.
It's not like I have a fucking mastery of time and space and dimensions and shit.
And like Zero's just first go-to is, I'll just try stabbing her in the head, see what happens. And she blocks it with her little handbag
I'm gonna
that
have
she's
to get
got.
rid of her.
And Zero's like, you know a lot more than you're letting on. And she's just like, no, I'm too silly. I was like, I'm just a little guy.
She's
come on."
just a little princess.
And
Oh,
she does like go to Zero like occasionally and is like, by the way, like if this happens, it will cause like really bad shit. So do this instead. She's got like a big book as well. And Zero's like, oh well, if you just show me what's in the book, like I can just do as like whatever I need to. And she's like, well, you're not allowed to see it. Oh wait, I forgot about so the reason why they're in the mountains in the first place, right, is because they'd been like searching, like, oh, we've been searching for like other intoners. I'm really hungry. And then in the mission sense, like, oh, I know this really nice fruit that grows in the mountains. Like, all you gotta do is look for like this chest. And you find that because in Drakengard 3, there's always 3 chests in a level, like 3 treasure chests. And it's usually like 2 weapons and gold, or like weapons, material, and then something else. And then in the first chest, she looks for it, it's like, there's trash inside. And she's like, Sen, you're talking shit again, aren't you? It's like, no, it must be like further back in, like I definitely know it was here, I've had it before, it's delicious. And then like, she's like, okay, fine. And they find the second chest, and it's like, there's more trash inside. And it's like, oh no, it's in this cave, it's definitely in this cave. And she's like, Sen, if you're lying, I'm going to stab you. And he's like, no, it's real, it's in this cave, like I definitely know for a fact it's in this cave. And then there's just actually not, it's literally said there's nothing in
This game feels more and more like a shit post the
Yeah.
more you talk about it.
Yeah, that's kind of why I have a real big soft spot for it.
it's basically Yoko Taro's main thing, isn't it?
Yoko Taro goes
He
silly.
likes to put just lots of silly
And
shit in
it's
his
just like,
games.
there's
But
literally
also
nothing
lots of
of-
depressing
nothing
shit
in
as
here.
well.
Not even stuff that has little to no value, there's literally nothing. And they're all like,
Yeah.
oh, and Sen's like, oh no, it's in the next mountain. And she's like, I'm making an executive decision to ignore everything this man has to say.
Everything depressing in a Yoko Taro game goes right over my head, so I can just skip right to the ass and tits.
You just scream and clap.
Big brain plays, gentlemen. We're making moves here.
Reject sad themes, embrace silly.
You reject thinking. Brain too smooth. Process anime titties, please. That's where it's at.
So that's that's the Lost Verses in Timeline C. But like in Drakengard 1 and 2, you can't get the final bit until you've got like every weapon. So I'll talk about the DLC and then we'll do the final chapter. Because Drakengard 3 got DLC, surprisingly.
Horse armor.
DLC, what console was it on?
Dragon armor.
PS3.
PS3.
Oh,
It's
fair.
me on the
It got
PS3.
I actually really liked it. It should be in the base game really, but I actually really like the DLC and concept. It's all focused on specific intoners, so like you play as them and you get like more about their character.
Oh, I like that. Okay.
So Fives is like, oh, this intoner, it's like, it's kind of got like a pop-up book aesthetic. I really like the aesthetic actually. And it's Five like in a hammock having a dream about like chicken wings. And Dio just looking miserable, fanning her. And it's like, this intoner had a desire for a lot of things. She likes food, she likes literature, she likes art, she likes sex, she likes money. But like nothing could ever like quite satisfy her. And she's in the desert and Dio's like hooking around like 3 treasure chests. And he's like, is all this really necessary for the desert? She's like, yes, I've got to have my nice dessert. I've got to have my cute clothes. I've got to have toys for my nighttime fun. She's like, I've got to have all of these. And he's like, what if you got stabbed in the back and like I killed you, you stupid bitch? And she's like, what was that, Dio, sweetie? And he's like, oh, nothing.
Man, Dio's a buster.
Because she's just off in her own little world thinking about like what else she'd like with her. So then Dio will just be like, I could just stab you to death and like you wouldn't notice, you stupid fat bitch. And she's like, what was that? And she's like, what was that, sweetheart? And he's like, oh, nothing, my lady.
What up, homie?
Nothing, my lady.
And like, she, by all accounts, she does treat him well. From like what we know, like she, like anything he needs, she's like more than happy to like give him. Cause she's not like super. She is like. Five's whole thing is she is greedy, but like she just wants to experience everything that life has to offer, which is kind of, I don't think is like an evil trait in and of itself, but she just kind of does it in excess.
Yeah.
So they go to the they go across the world looking for this. She's like, oh, I found this item. I heard of this item from a townsfolk called legendary meat. And she's like, I've got to go look for it. And he's like, oh, this better not be a sex thing, Five. And she's like, no, it's a food thing. I'll give you some. It's meant to be really tasty.
I've got some legendary meat.
And he's like, oh, okay. And it turns out it was
That's
nothing,
it. Shut it down.
It turns out it was like
close the
nothing.
video,
It was
everyone.
just like a little town legend. And she's like, why would someone lie to me?
It's the greatest meat around.
Like, I don't understand. And like, she comes across these like soldiers, and she's like, "Oh, you're a woman soldier? That's disgusting." And
Honestly, yeah, agree,
like, what do you mean?
bitch.
She was like, "You look like just all the man soldiers. You don't have anything nice on. You like haven't made an effort to make yourself look nice or smell nice. You're disgusting."
You don't have the big gazongas.
And like, there's a bit where they end up like fighting these two centaurs, and he's like, and Dio's like, oh, this was a wasted trip, and she's like, why would you say that? And he's like, because we're in a fucking centaur's nest. And she's like, who taught you such language? You're a naughty boy, Dio. And like beforehand, she says something to like the female soldier along the lines of like, wouldn't you want to get piped by like a hot bit of man meat rather than getting stabbed by a lance? Like, why be a woman and join the army? Like, just make yourself look nice and get a nice man rather than be a stupid bitch on the battlefield.
True fucking feminist icon, clearly.
But then she finds like a sister, and she's like, I can't believe you said such awful things to my sister. And she's like, oh, that was a woman? So just Five's just kind of very self-absorbed. Not really autistic, but you get these things in the DLC called Memories of an Intona, and it's like little just snippets of like what they've done or like what they're thinking about things. And it starts off very like vain, and it's like, oh, your £200 order of steak has come here, Five. Like your 200 premium dildo collection has been delivered. But then later on, it's like, oh, this like really expensive like thing that you've got has been donated to this orphanage at your request, or like this book about like what makes a good like political leader. So like the implication is kind of like she was getting better and like looking into more like just generally like what life has to offer before Zero killed her. But at the same time, she's not a super great person.
Well, yeah, she was a flawed individual.
She was a very flawed
but
individual. She was less like
a-
malicious and more just like she wanted what she wanted there and then, and like didn't really care about the logistics.
Guys, you don't think that Zero was the gulp bad guy, do you?
What? So that's fine. And then Five's she ends up at the beach with you know the dragon Gabriel I was talking about? So in the main game they're just completely feral, but in the DLC, because it's set like just before the events of the main game, the dragon's called Gabriella, and she's like really intelligent, and she's just kind of like, you guys are really weird, but like one's told me to help you, so I'm happy to help. What you guys looking for? And the final level, she's like, I'm looking for legendary undersea treasure. And Gabriella's like, babe, do you hear yourself? Like, can you, like, actually focus on something attainable? And she's like, no, I know it's real, and they end up at the beach, and she's like, oh, I really like the sea air. Come on, Dio, let's strip off and play in the sea. And he's like, I'm not doing that. And the final boss fight of her DLC is just a really big crab. And she's like, that's my undersea treasure. I'm gonna eat it. And then,
It sounds like everything worked out.
And then Dito's like, oh, but that crab's like clearly had something done to it. Like, it's clearly like a reanimated corpse.
I think
And
this
because
is
it is, he's like
crab.
into it. Is it? Oh, I bet it's
Half
got
the enemy
maggots and
crab.
parasites riddling all. It's like the implication is like he doesn't like to admit it, but him and Five are very similar, just in different ways. Like instead of her like obsessing about like normal things like food or like clothes or whatever, he's obsessing over corpses and just gross shit.
Man, Dito was a buster, dude.
So it's like, oh, the pair found this giant rotted crab. They'd like just killed it and ate it on the spot, and that's their like DLC ending.
All in all, a 100% successful trip, fam.
Yeah.
All in all, we were just a.
Remember 4?
Yes.
Remember how you were saying she's all cute and nice and stuff?
No, Joe. No,
She
not
evil.
like this. Not like this.
Well, she's traveling with Decadus, and she's like, oh, we need to clear up the like remaining of like the warlords that ruled the place's army for one. And she's like, oh, we should never like be. We can be thankful that we won this battle, but we can't like take pride in the fact that we've killed people. Like it's unfortunate that they won't listen to our wisdom.
Okay.
And then the more and more it goes on, she's like, the more like different like species of creature you have to fight, and like it ends with like her and Gabriella fighting these like elves, and they're like, oh, these elves are just like pirates, but they're retreating. And it's like, no, if they're a threat to one, we have to kill them all. And like the whole time they're like, we won't attack, like we're literally just trying to go home to our families, please don't attack us. And she's like, we need to burn them to the ground. And Gabriella's like, this is manslaughter at this point. And she's like, well, they're not men, so it's not manslaughter, so it doesn't count.
Jesus.
So she's a fantasy racist. Anything that's
Oh,
not
okay.
human, she's like, oh, I love the sound of like them screaming at their demise because they're evil and I'm nice.
But she's not human herself, right?
No, she's not. But she loves just people dying that aren't humans anyway.
Damn.
She absolutely loves it. Like, she's probably giggling like a little goblin and like you take all the ships down.
Any reasoning behind that?
She's just So
the-
her whole thing is Gabriella clocks it straight away. Her whole like, oh, I want people to get along, it's an act. Like, she's actually very, very vindictive and like spiteful. Because dragons and Drakengard can see like the real intentions of like other people. They say like, oh, dragons can see the heart of like of others, and Zero's heart, not Zero, sorry, Four's heart is just full of like emptiness for like other people.
Oh
Like,
hell yeah!
no,
dude.
I do all this for one. Like, I really wish I wouldn't have to kill anyone, but I've got no choice in the matter. And Gabrielle's like, I can tell you're
Your
lying.
thing,
You're a
huh?
horrible, horrible little piece of shit.
Jesus.
And the reason she's paired with Decadus is because the disciples for Nintona, they have to like, they're there to service them in any way that they want, including like sexually. Like, it is an in-canon thing that like, if the
It is a
Nintona don't
Yoko
get
Taro
enough
game.
sex, then they will just go feral.
What did Yoko Taro mean by this?
Funny.
I think we know what he meant by that.
But
Wife, please
I-
have
I-
sex
I-
with me
I
more.
think
Signed
he was
Yoko
incredibly
Taro.
horny.
But 4's the like exception. 4's like a virgin. Like Zero says like multiple times she's evil because she's a virgin.
I mean,
that's a fair enough.
But she's like,
Yeah.
no, she's like, Zero's like, no, I'm being facetious, there's more to her. Like, if you think that she's just this sweet little, like, pretty princess, then, like, you're being silly. But the whole thing of her is, like, obviously he's very submissive and likes a CBT. She pretends to like him all, like, polite and chaste and stuff, and she's like, oh, this is about, true love. Like, she wants him to force himself on her, but he won't because he's like, I would only do anything if I've got express consent. So 4's kind of fucked in the head.
Yeah.
And a big fat fantasy racist. And her memories are just all the things that she hates about her sisters. She's like, 5 is a stupid fat whore and I hate her. And she literally says something about 3, she's like, oh, you play like all the mysterious acts. I'm nice, I'm not like other girls. Like, it literally says something like that.
I'm so
like,
quirky.
like,
I mean,
not
I'm going back to the
Oh, man.
picture of 5 here, and she's only fat in one respect.
Yeah, I know.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah, well, no.
Those fat blubber bags of yours are like the only, like, what men like. Like, no, I know what men like. They're like a nice
Uh-huh,
like
uh-huh.
way.
Uh-huh.
And so like R3, you play all mysterious and aloof, but like you're really mean and a nice girl.
I'm not like the other girls. I'm a nice girl, me.
Yeah, that's literally all her memories are just, all of my sisters are fucking stupid cunts and I'm the only good one.
What's her memory of Zero like?
She's like, oh, why are you always so mean? You act like our brains are full of poo, but you're the only poo brain here. Poo brain.
She took the words right out of my mouth.
Do you know that picture of the guy writing, and it's like fire coming off the...
Coolio.
I love Coolio.
Coolio!
That fucking clip's from Gangsta's Paradise, bro.
And that's 4's memories. It's just like, oh, you thought she was really nice in the base game. She's one of the fucking worst people here.
But what if she was not nice?
3's is kind of whatever. It's just all about, oh, I've made these experiments that have gone feral, so I have to kill them now. And it's just like, oh, it really thingies into, like, this is definitely an autistic person kind of thing she's got going on. Because, like, she's really dismissive of Octa. And then he's like, oh, what about these creations you've made, my lady? And she just starts talking at, like, the speed of light about like, all the little intricacies that she's made of them. And it's like, oh, I named these two this and this. And he's like, oh, those are really weird names, my lady. Why did you name them that? She's like, they're Spanish for excrement and urine. And he's like, what did you say? And he's like, did you not hear me, Octa? You must be getting old. And he's like, they're Spanish for excrement and urine. And he's like, oh.
You old senile fuck.
He's like, oh, okay. That's nice.
Man, fuck the old guy. All my homies hate the old guy.
The old guy's like, I'll try to support you in whatever ways that you need, my lady. And then he's like, oh, you experiment on humans? That's too far. Like,
that's cringe.
That's it. I'm out. That's pretty much just her DLC. Her taking down like her experiments that have gone like feral. It's just meant to be like, yeah, she definitely did like human experimentation.
Yes, my
2's
liege.
is the best. 2's just starts off with her and Scent being like just a genuinely really nice, happy couple. And 2's, she, like I said when she was first introduced, she just genuinely cares about the welfare of other people. She opens up like orphanages and like housing for like people who are vulnerable or people that have like lost their parents in the war. And it's just like, oh, like that's what I'm using like my power for. Like I've made like a nice little orphanage. I've opened up like a house for people who are vulnerable and like have nowhere else to go. And just her and Scent are a really happy, like lovey-dovey kind of couple. Like literally nothing bad about them. I'm just like, oh, Scent, you're not allowed to like die on me or anything. Like, and he's like, oh, but I'm your disciple. I'm supposed to protect you. And she's like, well, I can protect myself. I'm an Intona, but like, I'm more worried about you, sweetie. And he's like, oh, no, I'm fine. Like, I know everyone will be fine. I think you're done with your power before we left. And then they get, like, this letter. And like, oh, you have to return back to the cathedral city immediately. Something's gone wrong. And all the guards are essentially zombies. And she's like, oh, what's happened? He's like, well, I imbued them with the power of your song, but they're normal humans, so I guess it was, like, too much for them. And 2's, like, blaming it, even though she didn't do anything about it, it was all Sent just making the decision to do it. She, like, blames herself for it, and she's like, I'm really upset having to kill people that, like, I've taken in and befriended, but, like, I suppose it's better than them being zombies. And then they're like, oh, you need to... And then they get a letter and, like, you need to go to the orphanage right now. So they go to the orphanage, and there's just this room with this giant, just literal blob of white goo, and they literally call it a homunculus. And 2's like, oh, this monster's threatening the kids, we have to kill it. And the homunculus starts calling her Mama, and, like, Auntie 2. And because
I'm like you're humorless.
powered up everyone in the city with the power of song, including the kids, they've all formed into this homunculus creature. And 2 realizes halfway through, and that's why she's basically, like, brain dead in the main timeline, because she's had a mental breakdown, because all the orphans have turned into this blob monster that she's killed. Even though it was literally no fault of her own, just made the decision to, like, power them up for no reason. Because he thinks he's a lot smarter than he is. And he's like,
Man,
oh, no,
I hate Sen. All my homies hate
oh,
Sen.
no, Lady 2, like, I'm here for you. Like, I'm sorry that this has happened, but, like, we have to kill this thing. And 2's just having a mental breakdown the entire time. And she's like, Sent, you were supposed to help me. Like, we were supposed to, like, get married and, like, live together. And it just ends on, like, all her memories at the start of, like, her baking things for her other sisters that they all like. And then later on, it's like, oh, this is Sent, Lady 2 won't eat anymore, so, like, I have to mix gruel with honey to, like, give it a bit of taste so she can have something to eat. And she's like, oh, now she'll only take water, she'll just spit out anything else that, like, I give her. So it just ends on her being essentially, like, brain dead after, like, the trauma that she's suffered. And 2 is, bless her, she just gets fucked in every timeline. And she just is the only one that was unequivocally good and nice to people. But that's why Sent went with 0 after 2 died, because she told him you're not allowed to die. So he's like, oh, I need to stay with an Antona then. So he acts like he doesn't, but he still does, like, love her.
Yeah.
He just can't really express it since she's gone mind
Cuckoo
broken.
bananas.
Mind
Turn
broken.
into Casca.
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah.
She's just essentially brain dead.
Mhm.
And that it just ends on 2, like a little pop-up book of Sent, like, hugging 2, and she's just completely gone. And 1's story is because she had no other disciple, she got lonely, so it goes over how she made a brother. And this is where kind of the biblical thing comes in. So brother 1 was made out of her ribs. And the DLC is essentially her teaching him how to be a person and, like, what's proper. And brother 1's like, oh, so I am your disciple, basically, is that right? And she's like, yeah, for all intents and purposes. And he's like, disciples are meant to satisfy their Antona. Do I have to do that?
Huh?
She's like, no, we're siblings, that's disgusting. Who would do that?
Yoko, don't do this.
No,
You're
they
cool,
stick to it. She's like, no, we're siblings, and he's like, I don't know what a sibling is. Can you explain it to me? Like, a sibling is this, so that means that they can't, and then, like, blur it out, and he's like, oh, okay, I understand. Yeah, that's disgusting. Who would do that?
Yikes.
So it's just him her teaching him how to be a human, basically. And so you gotta have these things as values, like this is important. He's like, oh, okay, I think I get it. He's like, but you said that like killing is bad, so like why do you kill people? He's like, well, they're bad people. He's like, well, what's the difference?
Yo.
And she's like, oh, well, I suppose that I'm a bit of a hypocrite in my own lessons, but you still need to learn them. He's like, well, okay.
Do as
Like,
I say.
he's like, well, you're the boss, I guess. Like, that's fine. And he's like, am I allowed to meet other people? She's like, no, you're only allowed to speak to me and Gabriella, like, cause you're my like trump card if Zero kills me. You're not allowed to talk to anyone else. And he's like, oh, that's quite lonely. He's like, well, that's why you were made. So
There are no good ones.
and he's like, oh, okay. I was like, that's fine as long as I get to talk to you. Like, I don't really mind. Then of course she dies.
Uh-oh.
But one's whole DLC is basically her being like, I know I'm flawed as a person, but I'm trying to do right by people. Like, her whole memories are like, oh, this is to my sisters, you should all live with this, and this. Like, I really hope that I'm the one that goes first, so like I can get Zero away from you and you can live happily. And then like a last one is like, oh, I've realized that just saved me for last and killed the rest of you. Like, I guess that's what I deserve, and I'll be joining you all very soon. So like one's very much like she's got a heart in the right place, but like her methods aren't always the right ones. And then we've got Zero's DLC, which is like all before the thingy at the end of the game. So this is Zero backstory time. So Zero doesn't have a canonical name because she was never given one. She, like, in her DLC, she's like, the first thing I can remember is my mom, like, whipping me across the back and just verbally berating us. But, like, already at, like, that age, she was very just, like, pragmatic, I guess is the word. And she's like, well, she was a poor woman. She was raised in the same way. I was another mouth to feed, so it kind of just is what it is.
Yeah.
So then she got sold off into a brothel.
Yo.
And one of the girls.
That is not a certified Yore moment.
It's not. And one of the girls that worked there gave her the name Rose because of her eye color, and that's the closest thing she's ever had to a name. So they became friends, and they were like, "Oh, why don't we go out one night and steal all the money that they've got and just make a run for it and just live our lives somewhere else?" And she's like, "Okay, that's a good idea."
Why don't we go out clubbing?
So she took the money and ran. But that her friend only wanted her there so Zero could carry more money. So she beat the shit out of her, took the money with another person and ran off, and then Zero got dragged back into the brothel. And she was like, okay, I know not to trust anyone now. Like that's a lesson learned. So she waited till like everyone was, I guess, vulnerable, and then poisoned their drinks and killed everyone in the brothel, and then took the money and like made a run for it. And she got away for a while, and then she decided to stay with someone that she was acquainted with, and she had like a relative bit of peace at that time, and she lived just kind of normally for a few years, and then she got really ill. And then the guy was like, oh, there must be this plague going round. I'll just like sell her off before like I can get like infected. But before he could do that, she killed him and ran off. And then from that she was like, oh, I'll not trust like just anyone at all now. I'll just kill anyone I need anything from and just take specifically what I need when I need it. And she got away with that for a good few years, and it was just kind of a reflex. Like, there's a bit where she talks about how she was really hungry, so she just went and killed a family for food. And then when, like, the eldest daughter was like, why are you doing this? She just couldn't give her a reason. So she was like, oh, it's just kind of a reflex. And she just killed her anyway. So she got away with this for, like, a few years, and then she became, like, pretty well known and got arrested for it. And she was still getting like more ill from her illness progressively. And she got, because she was put in a cell with a bunch of other people who would try to make like try to conspire against whoever ruled at the time. So they got tortured like horrifically, and for whatever reason, because she didn't directly try to kill the warlord, her crimes were seen as relatively minor, so she just got like whipped for a bit.
Yeah.
And all the other people like died around her, and she was the last one to die. And then like as she was dying, she saw like a flower next to her, and she was like, oh, okay, that's nice. And that's the flower that's in her eye. It brought her back to life. And she realized that the flower was like a parasitic thing, so she was like, well, this flower's no good, and she tried to kill herself. But because she did, the flower went mental, and then made copies of itself based off the people that she knew in her cell. So that's her sisters. She's based them off the people that she was in prison with. And they all siphoned a little bit of power off her. So basically, if Zero dies, the flower jumps into another intoner and like takes over them essentially. So that's why Zero's so dead set on killing them, because the flower's gonna end the world at some point. So she's destroying them for the good of everyone else essentially, even though by all intents and purposes she owes the world like nothing. But she's like, no, I'm not gonna let this thing destroy everyone and everything. Like, there are good people in the world, and like they don't deserve this shit, so I'm gonna take care of this. And it's why she refuses Accord's offer for her to sort everything out. She's like, no, I brought my sisters out, this is my responsibility, I'll sort it. She sees it all as like her fault, which I think is a bit unfair on her, bless her. Because she didn't know that the flower was gonna spawn 5 different people when she tried to kill herself that were like backups for her. So she was like, oh no, I'll sort this out, this is my cross to bear. But the only thing that can properly destroy a flower, or the flower, is a dragon. So she meets Michael, and she kind of baits him into trying to kill her. She's like, oh come on, you big stupid lizard, like you can't even, you hit these soldiers but you can't hit me, you stupid dumbass. And he's like, oh, do you not know what that flower means in you? Like, you're quite stupid if like you're running around with that flower in you. So they become like friends. Like Zero tells them like what her plans are, and the DLC goes over like a few months, and then he's like, oh, this is your last test, like you have to fight me, and if you can beat me like in an honest battle, then like you can definitely kill your sisters, so let's go. And you can tell that she genuinely really cared a lot about Michael. Like, it's hidden behind like layers of like obvious like trust issues. Like, she's very hesitant to open up to anyone, but like the closest person she would open up to was like Michael. She would just like genuinely talk with him and not like insult him once she got to know him more. And then obviously he died in the prologue, which is why she's kind of resentful of Mikhail for not being Michael. Because throughout the game she has like little dreams of him. And like she has little bits of like, oh, Michael would have done this or Michael would have done that. And Michael was obviously quite hesitant about killing her because they were friends. But he was like, well, I made a promise to her and I know what the flower will do. So I've got to keep it. And that's Zero's DLC, basically being like, sometimes he had this expression and like I really couldn't tell if it was happy or sad, but like, I hope wherever you are, you're happy now and like I can be with you very soon. So like Zero's someone who like, so like Timeline A, they definitely do paint her out as just this bitch. And it's meant to be like the more timelines you go through, the more kind of layers you peel back off her. And it's like, oh, this is a woman that's been through a lot. And like is masking that behind layers and layers of like aggression and trust issues and shit.
Yeah.
But when you do that and you get all the weapons, you get Timeline D, which is the final timeline. And all the intoners are going extra crazy. because the flower. I think the implication is the flower knows that this is like the last timeline, so it's like, oh, I've got to really step it up now. I've really got to kick it up a notch. So 5 becomes she's already dead by this point, but she comes back as like a zombie. And Dito's like, oh, whoa, that's hot. Like, I like this. Like, 5, why weren't you like this before? So he switches sides. And he's like, oh, I'm with 5 now. Like, if I can be in a world like this, then, like, I would not have a single complaint. Like, this is dope. Zero's like, I knew I probably should have killed you, but, like, whatever. It is what it is. So you have a boss fight with him and like a feral version of 5. But throughout the whole fight, 5 is trying to tell Zero that she's like sorry and that she does love her, like in a non-horny way for 5. But Zero's like, you can see Zero feels like kind of bad about it, but she's like, it's gotta be done. So she kills him and Dito. Well, Dito like basically uses all his energy to try and help 5. And then he's like, oh no, I want to stay here. And just like, you've used up all like your life essence, so like you're gonna disappear now. Like, it's your own stupid fault, really. So he disappears. And so does Sent, because he used all of his fighting Dito and 5. And he's like, well, 2 wasn't in this world, so like I didn't really want to be in it anyway, so I'm quite happy with it. Like I'm fine with it. And then 4's just, they find 4, and she's full on like, oh, I love that the world's ending because all the disgusting subspecies are gonna die. Like I'm sick of pretending that I'm really nice, and Zero's like, it was a really bad act anyway. You could tell that there was something wrong with you.
It's like, I'm just gonna absolutely get Nakabusi now. The world's ending anyway.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh, this is cool.
Stop the bullshit.
And then she's like, oh, Zero, remember how we used to play hide and seek, and I used to dress in your clothes and pretend to be like you? And Zero's like, that never happened. That never once happened. And she's like, no, it did. I wish I could be as pretty like you, Zero. And she's like, that's not what you were saying earlier. And she's like, you're right, you're a disgusting bitch.
Fucking gone. Holy shit.
Because I'm cute and you're not.
It's true. She is cute. It is, that's the law.
So she puts down 4 because she is feral at this point.
I think she was feral before, but...
True. She's better at masking it.
Yeah.
And then 3 gets a dragon just out of nowhere. She's like, oh, I've got it. She's like, how the fuck did you find like an ancient dragon? She's like, I don't know.
I'll never tell.
And Decadus is, and it's too fast for Mikhail to hit. And Decadus is like, oh, I'll like weigh it down with like my angel that I'll summon. And then she's like, well, if you do that, like that'll kill you because 4's dead. And he's like, oh, you deny me this, like the chance to like lay down my life for you, my lady. It's the greatest pleasure.
My liege.
And Zero's just like, you crazy bastard, you do what you gotta do.
You son of a bitch, I'm in.
And he's like, please let me do this for you. It's the ultimate form of punishment. Like,
Okay, well now you're definitely not allowed to do it.
no, Zero's just like, alright, whatever floats your boat, I guess.
Whatever freak.
So he slows down the dragon by thinking his angel and sacrificing himself. And Zero manages to kill the dragon in 3. And there's a bit before at the start, which is like, everyone, we need a review of your performance in bed. Like, should just like a quarterly meeting of their performance in the bedroom. It's just like, Dio,
Yeah, sounds right.
yours is like slightly below average.
Damn,
It's
Dito.
like
You
Decadus,
fucking suck,
a
bro.
little bit of paint
So did-
stuff's okay, but it's every time. It gets grating.
Did she fuck everyone, or was
Oh,
it just
yeah.
like... Okay.
Except Mikhail, because Mikhail's a child. Like, there's a bit where he's like, oh, I hear you guys rolling around a lot at night, what's going on? And she's like, oh, we're just playing, don't worry about it. And he's like, oh, I want to play too. She's like, that won't work. No. Go back to bed.
No. That won't work.
And he's like, oh, well, that's no fun.
Unacceptable!
And he's like, well, why not? I want you to tell me why I'm not allowed to play. And she's like, 1, you stink. 2, you're stupid. 3,
Got him.
I'm not playing these games with you. These are human games for humans only.
Damn racism.
And he's like, oh, okay.
What did Yoko Taro mean by this?
You know what he meant by that.
What did Yoko Ono mean by this?
I think he just meant that he didn't want Zero and Mikhail to be fucking, because Mikhail's a stupid baby idiot.
I don't know. I just thought, you know, why focus on it so much?
There's a lot of sex in Drakengard 3.
There's a lot of sex in everything that Yoko Taro makes.
Not really. I think Drakengard 3 is the one big outlier.
Nia is extremely sexually charged.
Is it? I guess Automata, just by 2B's design, which is not really a
Dude.
sexual character.
Dude, the entire game is 2B with her ass cheek hanging out in the camera.
That's what I'm saying, a design,
but, like,
which is not really a
Yeah.
sexual character, as in just horny.
No.
She does have...
Yeah, this game sounds hornier.
Oh yeah, Drakengard 3 is like 10 trillion times hornier.
Drakengard 1 engages with sexuality in a very strange way as well.
Yeah, it's meant to be very off-putting though, Drakengard 1.
I definitely get that. I definitely get that from Drakengard 1. I'm wondering why the tonal shift. Is he going for a more comedic tone with this one? I don't understand.
I think it's that Drakengard 3 has more, I guess, overtly, because like, for Drakengard 1 you've got to dig a little bit for the more darker shit, whereas 3, it's more overtly darker, so I think he's trying to use that as like a comedic to offset the kind of dour tone of this bad and abused woman killing her sisters that she didn't know would end the world. That's kind of a dog premise.
It is, yeah. I guess.
It's just like, Octa, you're too horny. Chill out.
Octodad.
Sometimes I too feel like slapping Yoko Taro with the horny paper.
She's like, Octa, you're
but then I
old
think
and
better.
you're horny. Chill out. And he's like, but I'm 22. And she's like, well, why do you look like that? And canonically, Octa is like really young, but he just had that much sex that it put a strain on his body and he looks old. That is in the law.
I just know to always question when the Japanese introduce some form of age play, even if it's in the opposite direction.
Very true.
I just know that this is...
Everyone's a legal adult.
I'm looking around.
Well, that's nice. Anyway.
I'm looking around and I don't see anything deliberately wrong, but I know that we're in choppy waters, so I'm gonna just... I'm just gonna...
22, Octa's like 25, Decadus is like in his late 30s, I think. Zero's like in her 20s. All the other intoners are in their 20s. At least that they've got that going for them. There's no...
As long as they don't have a 3,000-year-old demon. No. That looks like a 12-year-old. We're all gonna have a big orgy now. Go fucking pound sand, Mikhail, for like 3 hours.
Essentially,
If you wouldn't mind, would you kindly do one?
And it's like, cool, I'll go eat some berries I found or something.
Go eat some berries.
Yeah.
Is that what they're calling it now?
But they get to... So they kill all the intoners are dead at this point, and one's the last one remaining. And Zero can't beat her. And Accord's like, I'm not allowed to interfere, but I like you, Zero. so I'm gonna make an exception here. And she's like, she does this really funny little run where her legs like can't keep up with her. Basically, it's really funny. And she holds one down, and she gets this like, you know, those really old phones that like weren't mobile phones, but like you could take them around, and they were like bigger than the size of your head.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
one of
the,
the-
the
The
big
80s
Motorola-
mobile phone.
Yeah,
like
she
the
pulls one-
Motorola brick.
Yeah, she pulls one of those out of her suitcase, and she's like, I'm requesting to be able to interfere in this timeline. And it's like, you have 0.65 seconds of leeway. And she's like, okay, cool. 0, in this 0.65 seconds that's coming up, stab 1 through me. And she's like, oh, okay. And she does it, so she kills 1, and she also kills a Cord in the process, and the Cord's like ripped in half. And it pans up to her, and it turns out a Cord's an android.
No.
Yeah, so it's that's like the first thing of like androids in the Drakengard / Nia timeline.
When did Nia come out? Did Nia come out before?
It came out before
Drakengard 3.
Drakengard 3, yeah. It was Drakengard 1, Drakengard 2, Nia, Drakengard 3, Nier Automata. So they kind of did establish a precedent for robots already.
Yeah.
So Accord's like, oh, it's fine, you know, I'll shut down, but like at least like we'll manage to get the intoners sorted out. And because it's the last timeline, and Mikhail's fine in this one, because in all the other ones he's died at this point. In this one they get Zero and him get a little bit of time together, and she's like, oh, there's not a lot of time, and like I know that I haven't been great to you, but I'm really like proud of how strong you've become, Mikhail, and like I really do appreciate you having always been there for me. And bless him, Mikhail starts like crying, and he's like he doesn't want to kill Zero, but he knows that he has to, essentially. So she lets the flower take over us, so Mikhail can kill it, and that's the rhythm game portion. And like,
I love rhythm games.
The rhythm game in Drakengard 1 is like a minute 20 seconds around about. Like, it is hard, but it's like manageable. Like after a lot of tries, it's manageable. The Drakengard 3 rhythm game is nearly 7 minutes.
Jesus Christ.
You don't have any sort of like, if you get hit once, you're dead, and the camera deliberately fucks with you.
So is it QTEs, or is it like a full-on like rhythm game?
It's just a full-on rhythm game.
Alright, thank
it's
you.
Just you press button, you just press A button in time with the, because in Drakengard 1 you had like black bars and white bars that you had to press. It was like square and triangle. But this one, it is just the one button that you press. Like there's no other buttons that you press. But the camera is going all over the place and fucking with you the whole time. And because it's the flower, all of the sisters come out. So it starts off with just Zero, and they all look like the final boss of Drakengard 1, so like all like women made out of stone, basically.
Yeah.
And Zero's its normal, and then 5 it changes up the tempo, and like the camera angle's still normal, and then 4 it changes up the tempo, and then the camera's like pointing towards like the ceiling and shit. And then 3 the camera's pointing towards them. So you can't rely on visuals to help you in the rhythm game, even though there is visuals of the bars coming out for you to block.
Nice.
It's one of like the things where like genuinely looking away from the screen or just turning the screen off will help you more than actually looking at it, because it is just trying to fuck with you. And I hate it. I fucking hate. I did it.
Doesn't sound particularly fun.
No, I fucking hate it. It was awful. With Drakengard 1, I was like, that was really hard, but like, it was doable.
Damn, what did Yoko Taro mean by this?
Drakengard 3, it's like they were actively fucking with me. They were actively attacking me specifically.
Yoko Taro played the rhythm game section in Kingdom Hearts and went, "Man, fuck this
Yo,
shit."
Atlantis, this shit goes hard.
You know I hate Chris, you know I hate Kingdom Hearts. Hearts. I wish that this was more like the Kingdom Hearts rhythm game. I wish.
That is
It's
that
just
is
actually,
that
like,
that is high shade that you're throwing right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah,
no,
That is
the Kingdom Hearts
industrial
exclusive
grade
is actually,
shade.
like, playable.
it is the worst fucking thing I've ever experienced. So you do that, you go through all the fucking different tempos for all the different intoners. The song itself is really good. The song is really, really, really nice. And then it like fades to black, and it has a little bit more of Zero talking to Mikhail, and you hear like the last note of the song. It's like, oh, that's nice. They hide a fucking last note in the cutscene dialogue. And if you don't press it when the screen turns to black, you die, and you have to do it all over again.
Oh no.
But they deliberately put the fucking sound of the note going off quieter than the dialogue, so unless you already know it's coming, you're gonna die. Oh.
That just like that just genuinely sounds like Yoko Taro just wanted to like piss off
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
audience.
Yeah. Thankfully, I knew about it ahead of time, and I didn't fall for it, but just putting myself in the headspace with someone that didn't makes me upset.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, if that was me, I would have probably just stopped playing at that point.
But it like fades to black, and
It
Mikhail's
doesn't
like,
sound remotely enjoyable at all.
no, it's not. It's not. Like, genuinely, the gameplay, I think Drakengard 3 is a genuinely enjoyable game, because, like, it is, like, a fun kind of hack and slash. Whereas,
Mhm.
like, Drakengard 1 and 2 were bad Dynasty Warriors clones.
Mhm.
Frame rate issues aside, the actual gameplay itself, like, if you can play it on an emulator, I'd say that's the best way to go, because it's, like, a stable
Yeah.
frame rate.
I remember when you lent me Drakengard 2, Drakengard 1, and I tried playing through it, and it couldn't really hold my interest.
No, the Drakengard 3 gameplay is genuinely fun. It's just literally only the final boss that it's like, why would you do this to me? But it fades to black, and Zero's like, oh, despite everything that went through, Zero, I'm really glad that I've like got to enjoy spending time with you, and like I really care about you. And she's like, well, I'm really glad, and I care about you too, Mikhail. But it's time for us to say goodbye. And Mikhail does it. He kills Zero. And the threat of the flower's gone, and Accord's like, oh, this branch is fine. The flower's been dealt with, but I have a feeling that I'll see Zero again somewhere. But like, I hope so. And then after the credits, loads of Accords just pop up out of nowhere, which I guess kind of makes sense because she is an android, so it makes sense she was mass produced. And they're all like, oh, that was a ordeal and a half, wasn't it? Like, that was crazy. And then Accord like adjusts the camera because it's like off kilter slightly, and he's like, "Oh, we have to go now, but I want to say thank you for playing." And then she leaves, and then we don't hear anything about her until the Nia anime, like 11 years later. And that's Drakengard 3. A fucking
What a roller coaster, I
it
must
is
say.
a really wacky ride.
Bravo. It was beautifully told.
And it's like I do like it as a game, but it's one of those where like get to a certain point and then stop.
Mhm.
It's like get to like
The rhythm game.
yeah, get to like end and D before the final boss and stop.
Just watch the video.
Yeah.
Hey.
Or just watch things on YouTube. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's more enjoyable. Like I really like the character, like Zero especially. I think she's a really well made, like flawed protagonist, where she's like not a good person, but like the things that she does, it's like a universal good, even though like she didn't really owe anyone anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh. God.
Ooh.
Ah!
Shee. I wonder what Yoko Taro's going to work on next.
His
Yeah.
production, probably.
Drakengard 4.
I doubt it'll be something near related.
I doubt it. I think it's going to be Drakengard 2. 2.
Drakengard 2 2? Drakengard
Yep.
Squared?
Yeah.